Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I am continuing on with my goal of posting a video every weekday for the month of January. But I thought today, since I just did a video on cleaning out my pantry and reorganizing some things, I would go ahead and give you an updated pantry tour. It's been quite a while since I've done one, and my pantry looks a bit different than it used to. It used to be filled to the brim, and things look a lot different now. So starting at the top, I'm trying to utilize and maximize storage in here. So I have a lot of jars of all sorts, as well as oil lamps up top. They're actually pretty challenging to get to because these are 10-foot ceilings. We also have an old ice cream maker up there and a big water bath canning pot and some other supplies. Coming back down to the next shelf, we have a whole bunch of store-bought pasta. Most of this is stuff that I don't make when I make pasta, so elbow macaroni noodles, penny pasta. I can make spaghetti, but I don't. It's a really challenging one to make with my hand crank pasta maker, so I do keep some on hand. Angel hair pasta is the same way. And then I have just some random things. One time I was making several lasagnas. Rather than making a whole bunch of homemade pasta, I went ahead and bought these oven-ready noodles, which I have since learned you can use regular noodles. They don't need to be called oven-ready. If you are covering them and baking them for a certain amount of time, it still works perfectly well. And I have not actually boiled lasagna noodles in years. These are two mostly empty boxes of ramen noodles. I'll not be buying any more ramen noodles in the future. The packet themselves are so bad for you with so much MSG and high sodium. There are just so many other easy ways to make a quick meal. And then also over there, I've got some extra empty mason jars that won't fit in those cases above. There's a lot of random miscellaneous stuff that I'm going to be showing you. Everything used to be so nicely organized, and as I have stopped purchasing a lot of things that we used to store, I'm not going to let the other things go to waste, like this Country Time lemonade, and behind there is a container of Tang. Do you remember that? I never ever had Tang as a child, so I have no memory of Tang, but my husband has very nostalgic memories, and apparently there is a Russian tea recipe, or kind of like wassail, that you can make with Country Time lemonade powder and Tang, and I'm not sure what else, but I'm going to look that up and we are going to make that because I'm not going to let this stuff go to waste. We are going to use it. We are in the midst of the pantry challenge. I also got quite a few bottles of organic ketchup that I purchased from Aldi. This cute little basket is somewhat full of these Quest sugar-free protein cookies. My kids are not a fan of the peanut butter ones, but the rest of the ones in that basket are chocolate chip, and those are pretty good. So I will start putting those back in their lunch boxes or as a snack at school when they go back next week. We've also got a gigantic, like Costco bag of French fried onions. So we will be using that during the pantry challenge, making some green bean casserole or even other sort of veggie casserole that, you know, same idea. Anything with those on top or buttered Ritz crackers makes it taste really good. We've got some organic red wine vinegar. This is really helpful when making your own salad dressings. I have not been purchasing salad dressing from the store anymore because 99% of them have seed oil in them, and we are trying to avoid that. We've got buffalo sauce, so I'll probably make buffalo chicken dip sometime over the pantry challenge. I have a running list in my planner. I've got some lined notebook paper in my planner, and I've kept a running list of random ingredients that I would like to use up during the pantry challenge, as well as when I see things like this bottle of buffalo sauce, making sure I'm writing down, hey, don't forget to make buffalo chicken dip sometime during the pantry challenge. Although I see that I have like 3 or 4 more bottles right here, so we probably will not get through all of those. Peanut butter, we go through a lot of peanut butter. There are 4 jars there total. We will very likely go through all of those during the pantry challenge because one of our favorite things to use it on in bulk is this Trim Healthy Mama protein shake. It's sugar-free, but it's called a Snickers shake, and it has a big scoop of peanut butter. It has cottage cheese, which we can make from our raw milk, cocoa powder, Trim Healthy Mama sweetener, which is stevia and erythritol. What else? that's about the bulk of it, and it is delicious. So we go through a lot of peanut butter just for that alone. Soy sauce. So I'm also going to put fried rice on our list for the pantry challenge. We'll just do veggie fried rice more than likely, and maybe even make some homemade egg rolls. I've wanted to do that for a while and never have. We've got pimentos. These pimentos have been in here for a while. They're not expired yet, but we're going to use those. I have a really good homemade pimento cheese recipe that we can use those in. One lone container of store-bought mayonnaise. Yes, this is full of seed oil as well. I've been making our own for quite a while, particularly when I need small batches, like for adding to homemade ranch or a homemade salad dressing. But we do have this one left, and we will use it. We won't let it go to waste. Some gallon bags of just regular black tea. That is canned butter in the background. I don't know that we'll touch that. Like, we have endless fresh butter right now because we have a cow, and she produces lots of cream. So I think that canned butter will just stay back there for a rainy day. This minestrone soup in a jar, I've had those for quite a while. We've used quite a few of them. I've gifted some of them, but we will definitely go through these. I'll probably use one a week over the course of the pantry challenge. I usually like to add a little more pasta to it because, as you can see, it's just that teeny tiny top layer that has some pasta. It's like the little miniature shells. So I'll probably throw some macaroni noodles or something in when I make it. And oftentimes I will add ground beef or ground sausage. I might even add chicken. But it's really good, especially if I serve it with homemade bread. There's not too many complaints from the kids. This is our kind of smoothie making corner right here. We've got Trim Healthy Mama protein powder and collagen powder, as well as our Vitamix blender. This is good old iodized Morton a regular table salt that I don't actually purchase anymore, but I had a couple of these kind of in our food storage stash, and I made salt dough ornaments for one of my kids' class Christmas parties. And so I did not want to use any of my really good, like Redmond's real salt, so I got the table salt down and we made it with that. There's some dried pinto beans there in the back. There's probably 1 pound left in that big old bag. I think that's a 10-pound bag. I picked up these tomatoes a few days ago. I don't specifically remember why, apart from maybe making a salad. Wow, that winter storm is moving our way. I don't think we're going to really get anything from it aside from really cold temperatures, no snow or ice. But the wind on my house, I can hear it whistling. It's pretty wild. These Mary Ruth's Liquid Morning Vitamins Plus Hair Growth. It's peach mango flavored. It's sugar-free. It is fantastic. I have been, well, I could probably talk about that in another video, but I've been taking those vitamins. It's a liquid vitamin. You store it in the fridge, but this is my backup bottle. Once it's open, you store it in the fridge. Anyways, I've also been taking beef liver supplements, and it's called Broccolite, and it's like a sulforaphane, which is the main cancer-fighting component in broccoli sprouts. Anyway, I've just been kind of upping my vitamin and supplement game recently, and I have felt really good. Okay, there are 3 random packets of pudding, instant pudding, vanilla and chocolate. We will use those. I think we have some bananas right now, so I might make some homemade vanilla wafers and make banana pudding as a treat. That would be really good and not too common for a winter dessert around here. This is a half empty bag of organic unbleached all-purpose flour that I pick up from Costco. This is significantly cheaper than buying the same organic unbleached all-purpose flour from Azure Standard. This is like half the price. So if any of you out there have access to a Costco and this is something that you typically buy from Azure, no offense, but if you want to be friendlier on your budget, I would highly suggest going to Costco instead. These have got to be used up. Israeli couscous or pearl couscous, and this arborio rice, which is what you use to make risotto. Desperately need to use those. So they're going to go on the menu somehow. This is another thing that we are going to use during the pantry challenge, and this is rice paper used to make like summer rolls, which are so good. You can put anything in them. It's even better if you have like this sweet chili sauce to dip it in. I'm not entirely sure that I do, but I might have what I need to make it. And then, well, I'll get to these canned goods in a second. On the bottom shelf, I've got a dusty, dirty pressure canner, a basket full of onions. These onions last so long. Some of these onions have been in here for 2 or 3 months. These are just yellow onions. They're not white or super sweet onions because those do not last as long. But as long as there's air circulation and darkness, they really can last quite a long time. Bowls. There's some random bottled water back there. I'm not sure what that's from. Probably something over the summer. And then basmati rice, one that is already opened, one that's in the back, and I've got another one back there. I don't know why they're not together. All right, moving up top. There's nothing on that shelf except for some random bottled water. I should join those with the other guys. And some beef and chicken bouillon cubes. I have no idea why I have that many. I think they've been up there for a very long time. And I do remember that some of those have MSG in them and some of them do not. So I need to look further at the ingredient list, and the ones that are full of MSGs, I will probably throw in the trash. Or if they're not expired, maybe give them to a food pantry. All right, this is my random shelf of canned goods. If you remember back in the day and you've been around for other pantry tours, I used to have shelves and shelves of dozens of canned goods that we would use on a regular basis. And I've just really gotten away from that. And I love that. It does make things sometimes a little less convenient to make quick meals. And I do still buy some things. This is my very favorite green enchilada sauce. We're going to have chicken enchiladas with the green sauce sometime in the next week or so. There is a random can of cream of celery, some taco shells, canned corn, black olives, which I'll never stop buying, coconut milk, which I probably won't stop buying. Same with artichoke hearts. Like, some of these things are staples that we will continue to buy. Chopped green chilies I use to make our own green enchilada sauce, and it is so good. Same with like Rotel tomatoes or the Aldi brand. Some canned pumpkin. This is expired, but we will be using it to make pumpkin bread throughout the pantry challenge. Some organic fair trade cocoa powder, which is what we use in our Snickers shake. 2 jars of marinara sauce from Aldi and 2 or 3 jars of salsa from Aldi. Over here we have our favorite deluxe mixed nuts from Aldi, some applesauce, some low-carb tortillas. These sweet peas and green beans are from when my little nephew, he was a toddler at the time, and now he's almost 4, so let's see if they're expired. Let's see. Hey, July 25. Of course it's not expired. August 25. Okay, those will get used on the pantry challenge for sure. We have some home canned carrots. Those home canned banana peppers are so good. We will have some like Italian subs on homemade bread sometime over the pantry challenge. What is this? Oh, these are like candied apples, almost like old-fashioned apple preserves. It was something I was trying to replicate for my husband from his childhood, and I'm not entirely sure I succeeded. This is cowboy candy. There's some jelly, fig preserves, applesauce, salsa. That Tomato House peach salsa was a gift. This is our homemade peach salsa, and it is amazing. Moving down, we've got quite a bit of homemade, home canned beans, white beans, pinto beans, black beans. This is red beans and rice base. Actually, no, that's the whole thing. You just have to pour it over white rice. It already has the andouille sausage and everything in it. I am a rebel canner, so I will not be giving canning advice. You can make your own decisions on that. And then this is also split pea soup. It does not have, I don't think it has any meat in it. I think it was just a homemade, like, vegetarian split pea soup recipe. And I'm going to crack some of those, well, not really crack, but open some of those up during the pantry challenge. Now we've got canned sweet potatoes, white potatoes, and chicken stock. So those will definitely get used during the pantry challenge as well. On the bottom, we've got white vinegar, avocado oil, apple cider vinegar. There's some coconut oil in the very back, baking soda. I realized just yesterday, because we use olive oil in a soap dispenser at our milking stall for our hands before we milk, especially right now because Penny just had her calf, and so her teats are dry and raw and abused by the calf. So olive oil just helps keep them soft and helps making hand milking a little easier. But we're out of olive oil. So that's something I'm going to have to put on the list to pick up as soon as the pantry challenge is over. Also, just to clarify, you make your own rules for the pantry challenge, and I have no intent of staying away from the grocery store altogether. I just intend to be extremely intentional and try to keep my purchases to under, I really haven't even decided yet. I've thought about under $100 a week. I think that's probably realistic because it's winter. We are not going to go without some fresh fruits and veggies, but I will not be buying any processed foods, and I most definitely won't be buying any meat. Well, I'll tell you about that in a minute. All right, Cholula hot sauce, some sugar-free pancake syrup, which is so not good for you, but we've got a bit of it back there. Homemade apple syrup, which is really just like a concentrated apple juice with quite a bit of sugar in it, and you can thicken it on the stovetop when you're ready to use it. There's some canning products up there, pickling salt, extra gallon bags. This is canned ham. It's probably very similar to Spam. It's not great, honestly, and it's probably really bad for you, but that would be something easy to open up a can and dice it up small and put it in soup or something, or even a casserole with potatoes and cheese. We've got tuna, canned pulled pork. I plan on using that to make homemade tamales at some point. Molasses, because we make our own brown sugar. I've got another bottle that can go up there. And the bags right there are unsweetened dried coconut. This basket right in front here has Spanish rice mix in it. We've got arrowroot powder for thickening things that you want to remain gluten-free. There's onion soup mix, which I use in our favorite meatloaf recipe, so that needs to go on the list. A couple bottles of maple syrup, some microwave popcorn, and other canning tools and items. Now we get to my least favorite shelves. This is just random stuff. Look at this. This is an RV water filter. You know why we had to get this? Because we have a bougie milk cow. When we got Penny from the farm she was at, she was used to well water. And when she came to our farm, surprisingly, we are on city water, and she refused to drink it. She didn't drink any water for 2 days when she first came to our house. And my farmer friend that we got her from, she said, "Are you on city water? Because she will not drink that chlorine." And she sure did not. So we bought that RV hose filter, and it filters out the chlorine, and she drinks plenty now. All right, we've got pie plates, some foil pans. I don't know where this Smart Pop came from. It's got to be gross. I love some good buttered popcorn, preferably not in the microwave, but this just does not sound good at all. So we might, because like I said, we aren't wasting anything, we might go ahead and make it through the pantry challenge and make something yummy out of it, like popcorn balls or homemade caramel corn. I don't know. There's a few packages of pepperoni. We've got xylitol, erythritol, and stevia. That's what I use to make our Trim Healthy Mama Gentle Sweet. It's really good. It's a really great sugar alternative. There are some freezer containers there for food storage. There's organic cacao powder. I've never actually used it, but I intend to. I think it's just from Walmart, but it's supposed to be even better for you than regular unsweetened cocoa powder. It's got a lot of nutrients in it. Yellow rice. This yellow rice is going to have to get used up. So I will figure out some recipes to use that. We've got Italian breadcrumbs. I will definitely use that as well. Down here, I've got more kitchen tools. I have no idea what all is in this bin. I need to go through that. We've got quite a few bags of our favorite organic unbleached flour from Costco. And then my 5-gallon buckets have just all kinds of whole grains in them. So this is hard white wheat. There's kamut in one of them. There's a bag of kamut right there. And there's random stuff on the bottom. Those are some like vintage milk pails, but they only hold 1 gallon each, so we don't ever use them. I don't use fragranced laundry stuff anymore, but that is a bottle of fabric softener that my mom would probably like to use. And then our last remaining bag of Redmond's real salt, that is at the top of my list to reorder when the pantry challenge is over. There's our grain mill. We've been using that a lot more lately. And I bought 2 of these boxes of glass Pyrex dishes from Sam's when they were on sale, because we are trying to get away from plastics as much as possible. Just as more and more information comes out about microplastics, we are just trying to make the best choices possible for our family, and eliminating plastic by replacing it with glass is a really easy way to start. So I hope you enjoyed this pantry tour. It was fairly simple. It would be easier to have in context if you watched one of my old ones where my pantry was completely full. I mean, it's decently full now, but there's a lot of empty shelving. And I look forward to the journey of changing and showing you the changes that we've made over the last several months, and how we will be eating and preparing food differently in 2025. I hope to share a lot of our meal prep and weekly menu with you. If you are not already, would you consider subscribing and following along as I post every day in the month of January? Thanks for watching.